What's up, Digidestins? This is Kyle D, better known as RideMyAvatar, and today we are going to be going over not one, but three of the Japanese decks. We have quite a few oldies but trues, but you know, it's always good to look at what's coming down the line, right? So it's just good to round out EX-3 as we're ticking closer to BT11. So without further ado, let's dive into this video, hit that like button, smash that subscribe to know when my next videos go live, and let's go. So let's talk about none other than our golden girl, our Beelstar. Beelstar is really powerful this time around because when playing this card from hand, reducing the play cost by 1 for each 3 Musketeer card and option in your trash, well, 7 cost option in your trash, really does help out, making this card come in cheap ridiculously fast, especially since we'll Turbo Mill. But on play, return 1 option card with a memory cost 7 from your trash to your hand, and then we get to use 1 option memory cost 7 or without paying its cost. So what I've noticed in this list is that we have Mimi and Joe. So this will be kind of your memory setter. So if you have a suspended Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. If your opponent has a suspended Digimon in play, gain 1 memory. We won't be caring about the draw effect because we don't have any green Digimon or blue Digimon to affiliate this effect. But the fact of the matter is, start a turn, we get to be able to use this card here, Terror's Cluster. This card basically says ×4, go to the bottom deck and you're out of the game for a bit, now allowing you to punish them a little bit harder. Yes, Guided Breath can do the same thing, but you add it back to hand and it's just sometimes not enough. Those Christopher Blue Flare decks, I'll get rid of that Decker Greymon right out of here. We don't need that. Boss Digimon you have, get it out of here. Bottom deck it. Now it's out of the game for a good while and you don't have to worry about it. So I think that's a pretty solid deal there. But we also do play Guided Breath because this is green and blue. So it'll value us a little bit. Yes, it's not going to gain us crazy amount of memory, but it should give us a decent headway start. We have Analog Youth, being Analog Youth to help us mill and get those 7 cost in. We know what Fly Bullet does, at least being able to pop a level 6 or lower Digimon really does help out. Calling from Darkness, then return. Being able to cycle back, you know, like your Death X or Beelstars really do help out. And it can trigger, get our Scatter Mode dying sooner. Deathclaw popping level 4 or lowers really does help out. And that's about it. And then Nailbone being able to get a blocker up or just loop in your promotes to swing in with Rush and constantly apply pressure really does some damage there. And it gets to play at least a rookie, so it's not bad. And then you do also have it, if it's hidden security, get a blocker out of the deal. Not a bad deal breaker. Happy Bullet Shower, just being able to delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. Not bad, and it's basically as we can only use it if Beelstar is on the field. So that's kind of the options with Zort's Swarmer, just being able to delete 7 costs really does help out. And it's a board wipe completely, so it's not a bad trade-off. So it clears off problematic children that you might have. We have Demimera for that draw trash 1 card. Then we have Gabumon for draw 2 trash 1. And then we have Izamon Scatter Mode for that draw 3 on deletion, then trash 2. So basically 3, 4, 5, 6, draw 6, trash 1, 2, 3, 4. So you get a +2 in a sense. So it's not a bad trade-off while filling up your graveyard with more options. Really solid turnout for that. Gazi shuts down so your opponent can't gain memory outside of Tamer Gain. So that's really helpful because they can't Hammer Spark or use their beautiful cards they like so much. And what card am I talking about? The memory boosters. Soundbirdmon helps fill your trash and gain you more memory when attacking. So the more he gets in and the more cards you get to trash. So that's not terrible. Psychmon, all players' turns, can't reduce play costs. It slows down your Death X and Beelstar, but you can Digivolve on top of it, luckily. And that might be all you need to prevent your opponent's Death X coming at you. Draconic, on play, you may return 1 purple option card with a memory cost 1 or 7 from your trash to your hand. So this will get basically every option in our graveyard back to our hand. And what can be a really nasty loop is a Dracmon loop. So Calling from Darkness, pop him, then be able to play him afterwards and then just keep constantly cycling Calling from Darkness. So it's not a terrible trade-off. Baalmon's a blocker. Same thing with Devimon blocker. Promotes one of our Rush affiliates. And then we have Doberman being Doberman. So if it's trash, then at least we can get a purple Digimon card or a purple Tamer back to our hand. And it mills us 3. Not a terrible trade-off. The deck also runs Death X, being able to Digivolve. It's the greatest control option they have. So, not terrible. Now, let's talk about Mega Zoo, or AKA Megazord. So, the deck's real main accomplice here is Durobrickmon. So, this deck is very interesting because basically all these are dragons. So, or dinosaurs or anything like that that can easily just be put under this. So what your goal in the optimalized hand is, no matter what, as long as you see one Durobrickmon in your opening hand, you can just put everything underneath it. It'll come in for 3 cost. It has Rush. Now, your opponent has to answer this thing. So what can you do with said thing that has Rush? Well, on play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 3000 DP for every Digievolution card with a trait containing Dragon, Soar, or Ceratopsian that this Digimon has. Add 2000 DP to this chosen effect. Since we can put 5 Digimon underneath him, that's a whopping, guess what? 13. It can blow up any 13 in this game. That's impressive. So, I mean, depending on circumstances, if you don't play him right away and you go Kyushiru, just so you can get your memory to 3, the following turn, just play this, and then whatever pieces you have in your hand, get it underneath it. They all have to be different name. It's not the same. If I remember correctly. Excuse me. I don't want to print you. Yeah, with different names and traits containing, with cards with different names and traits containing. So, that's just really something you need to pay attention to. It's not numeric, so it has to be different names. So, what you're going to do is, like, having the Magna Dramon underneath here for its on play, minusing 1 security check. This Metallic Dramon, opponent's turn while you have a Tamer in play. This Digimon gains blocker and reboot. And on play, de-Digivolve all your opponents, then delete your opponent's Digimon with a play cost 5 or less. If no Digimon was deleted, all your opponent's unsuspended Digimon cannot Digivolve until the end of their next turn. So Digi-Evolution Preventer, really powerful. Azulamon, on play, draw 2, gain 2 memory. So, actually, no. It's just on play, draw 2. You're not going to gain that 2 memory because we're not playing the Trial of the 4 Greats. So, that's just going to be Megazording up. Then Volcanodramon, delete all your opponent's Digimon with the lowest DP. If no Digimon were deleted by this effect, your opponent cannot play Digimon with DP 5000 or less until the end of opponent's next turn. And then when attacking, if you have a Tamer in play, trash the top card of your opponent's security stack. So, really powerful right there. Then we have Volcandramon, just an extra security Digimon, and on play, delete all your opponent's Digimon with 4000 DP. Wide board clearing. Omnimon, basically what's going to happen is we're going to get so many Megas underneath this thing. This thing can just swing for days without stopping. And that'll really put a damper on your opponent because it's all you're doing is by returning one of this Digimon's level 6 Digievolutions to your hand. So this constantly just keeps swinging. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. If you have a total of 6 level 6s in there, you get 6 attacks with this thing. No questions asked. That's powerful. Then we have Omnimon Merciful Mode. For each Mega in the Digimon, delete one of your opponent's Digimon, then place 10 cards from your opponent's trash at the bottom of the deck in any order. I mean, being able to control your opponent's trash is going to be really important sometimes, and that's just what you're going to have to do. So let's say we get rid of ×4 if on a certain different way of like de-digivolving it or something like that, and then they have all their sources in the trash. Now you can go into Merciful Mode, put it all to the bottom in a way that they won't have access to it for a bit. Really does help out. Then we have Tidal Wave. This is the main reason why your cards are going to come out from your sources. So what you're going to do is just set this up, pull everything out, pull 2 out, and have basically an answer to your opponent's board state very easily. So that's how that's going to go. Fireball is just basically for that draw 2 advantage, and then being able to possibly pop a 3000 DP, but most of the time it's really for that draw. Gigimon for draw with your Gilamon here, so you're going to just draw 2 cards very easily. The more it survives the turn, the better off you are. Blaulukamon is just basically a security draw 2. And then it's just basically another dragon to get into Dial Brickmon later. Sonorisamon is basically when attacking, reveal top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card in his traits with Dragon, Soar, or Ceratopsian among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. So basically, you're trying to filter and get pieces. Agumon to give extra boost when attacking a player. Greymon for blocker, so that you can get your big boy blocking. Not bad trade-off. Cordramon, if hidden security, really the end goal, draw 2. And if you had to put him in there and then pull him out with Tidal Wave, that's another draw 2. So, just not a bad thing. Flarerizamon is if this Digimon has a trait with Dragon, Soar, or Ceratopsian, draw 1 card. So all basically, most of this stuff draws you cards while you're building up for the Omnimon finish. And that's not terrible. I think this is a very solid deck. Don't sleep on it. And then we do have our Wargreymon. So what's some things that you might notice that's a little different from our current Wargreymons? Well, they are playing the Blitzer. So that's probably just so they can combo in and go into this and be able to pop a blocker if they need to. Not a bad trade-off. This card is very interesting. So on play, if you have a Tamer play, gain 2 memory. If you don't have a Tamer in play, you may play a red Tamer from your hand without paying its cost. So even in the worst circumstances, you can play a tie for free, and then you're set up. You give them maybe, if they give you 2, you give them 5. Now you get a tie and a level 5 on board. If they're not ready to use all that memory, you have an advantage against them. Metal Greymon, when one of your opponent's Digimon is deleted, gain a memory. Not bad. It helps rush the early game to them, and that can apply a little bit of pressure there. Koramon's just Koramon, while this Digimon has Agumon or Greymon in its name, plus 1000 DP. Agumon, so reveal 3 cards from the top of your deck, add 1 Digimon card with Greymon in its name, and 1 Omnimon, so it's a searcher. X-Antibody, Agumon is revealing top 3 cards of your deck, add 1 card with Greymon or Omnimon in its name, and 1 X-Antibody among them to your hand. Place the remaining cards at the bottom of the deck in any order. Not terrible, very powerful. Then we have Agumon, your turn when this Digimon gets 1000 DP. Sometimes these events do not allow promo Agumon and Greymon and the Garurumon and stuff like that, so that's why they kind of go to this Agumon. But when they can, they will play the promo one instead. So Agumon, when attacking, when this Digimon attacks a player, plus 2000 DP. Not bad at all. Then we have Greymon, so as long as you have a Agumon in its Digievolutions, draw a card. This is a hard Agumon, so you can't use Agumon X-Antibody as the only Agumon. So, it's just how that goes. While this Digimon has Omnimon, Greymon, or Dexadora Greymon, Burning Greymon in its name, plus 2000 DP. X-Antibody for that protection against most removal. And then Greymon, extra security checks. We already talked about that Metal Greymon. We'll talk about this Metal Greymon X-Antibody. This Digimon gains security +1 until the end of the opponent's next turn. Then, if this Digimon has Metal Greymon or X-Antibody's Digivolution cards, this Digimon gets plus 3000 DP until the end of your opponent's next turn. Really laying on the powerhouse there. And then we have Alterius mode, so if this Digimon has a Tamer in play, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with 5000 DP. This counts as a Metal Greymon in every area but the breeding. And then it also has that preventative skill. And then Wargreymon X-Antibody, being able to gain a memory every time we clear a memory, a security, really does help out. And then if Wargreymon or X-Antibodies and Digievolution cards, delete one of your opponent's Digimon with DP less than or equal to this DP. Very good, clean removal. And then Omnimon X-Antibody, when this Digimon has X-Antibodies Digievolutions, would Digivolve into a card, reduce the Digievolution by 2. So basically, on top of a Omnimon, you could do it for 1. If not, it's going to be for 5, if other way around. But when Digivolving, return all your opponent's Digimon with the highest level to the bottom of their owner's deck in any order. Not bad. But when Digivolving, when attacking, place 1 X-Antibody or a level 6 from this Digievolution cards at the bottom of its owner's deck. Reveal all your opponent's securities. Trash one of them. Place the remaining cards of the security stack face down. Then your opponent shuffles their security stack. So giving yourself knowledge like this really does help out, and it can lead to game wins, especially if you're close to just winning it out. You go Blitz Omni, remove that card, and game. Sometimes that's all you need to win there if you can get into the X antibody. And then Omnimon, Blitzy Boy, just being able to, if an opponent's effect would delete this Digimon, return it to its owner's hand or deck, you may prevent it from leaving play by trashing a level 6 Digimon card with its Teach Evolution cards. And then we have Red Mem Boost. We know what Red Mem Boost does. It's just going to be what we need. X Antibody is enabling our plays. We already know what it does. We've talked about this many times. And then Cool Boy is Cool Boy. Again, if you're going to be playing these decks, this is probably the route you want to get. Grab these cards. Promo Agumon's really solid there. But outside of that, nothing too crazy. This deck is basically grab the Cordramons, grab the Gilamon and Gigis, and then basically most of it, the rest of the stuff is from older sets, but this Omnimon will be needed. But I don't think he's that expensive. I think he's like $8. And then this deck, if you're not playing Beelstar, I don't really recommend grabbing into it, but that's just me. So hopefully, guys, you enjoyed the video. Remember, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, and let's get to that 3,000 subscriber mark real soon. So guys, without further ado, stay safe, stay healthy, and I'll catch you next video. Peace!